So marathon, taking these. Look, he's got us on his car. That's awesome. 58 degrees in here. It's chilly. Push rods are, I don't know where they're at. Yeah, I mean, they're on their way, but they don't say out for delivery yet. Not sure what happened. It's fine. We spent yesterday doing the harnesses, redoing all of them, taping them up, putting what connectors I do know where they go, but the rest of it will have to go around again. I didn't tape that up. You're supposed to have tape around that. See, you can tape it. You tape the harness to the plastic. I separated the plastic, took it completely apart, retaped the entire thing, even inside, so that it goes past the joint. And then like here, you had to tape that right there. Tape that up. There's another one right here. Tape that end up right there. And I guess I missed a couple of spots. There's some more there, obviously. Clean that off. But battery cables, we did them, the negatives. They're ready to go on. Transmission harness, got that done yesterday. We went and took the bracket off and everything. Piece came out, I'll get that put back in. We had quite a bit of corrosion on that connection, so we're gonna have to clean that up a little bit. It's a massive amount of boxes. It's filling the truck up, and we're not even done yet. Look in here. Look in there, there's a whole bunch of other boxes in there all stacked up. It's hilarious. So today I'm gonna work on just loose end stuff, shocks, go ahead and attach a lot of this stuff back together. We did have the snowplow mount, and so now I gotta get the sway bar. I don't remember what brackets we did and didn't have, so we're gonna basically get the stock attachment points back for the sway bar. And steering, Julie's got a lot of the cab mounts in. And well, let's look at the engine. You want to see the engine? We did not replace the adapter flange on top of the oil cooler, but we did get a new oil cooler and a new cover. 6.4 comes with a cover. Look at that brass, it's all shiny. That's the old part. So put a new cover on it, and here's where we painted. We tried to get some paint on there. That's where the rocker box seal's at. When they're rusted like that. It doesn't even look like, oh, you can see it there. Outside of the rocker box should be all painted. Here, you can see it there. Pretty close, even the little indentions. Did it over there too. Yeah. We did the battery cable also, and we just got an O'Reilly's block heater. I don't remember there being a block heater, but always, with 6.4, you've got a mounting bracket, so you can HVAC tape that thing all the way as much as we can cover it up, and then this will curve around, mount here. There's a big push pin I replaced there. And see, I don't have a lot of these new, but I have a whole bunch of them, so that one is better than nothing, right? I mean, it'll have it there. If we did retape this up too, it's real tight, but this is supposed to slide on the battery cable. It does slide, you can move it. I mean, it only needs to move when you're messing with the cable, so we can make it move, get it where it needs to be, and leave it alone, and it'll be good. The stock starter, still in, or back in, we reused it. On the transmission right there, I haven't tightened it. When you tighten that nut up, it'll make that transmission bracket line up where it's going to be, and I didn't want to make it dead set locked in yet because I wasn't ready to mess with it. So when we tighten that down, that's when we're going to have to go. You see how open that clamp is? Might have to close that clamp. We're just going to have to walk down every inch of this transmission line and make sure it clears that oil pan, because it's not going to. So we're going to have to tweak it, move it, convince it, beat the crap out of it. We're going to have to make it so it does not touch. And you can see the clearance is pretty freaking tight as it is. Least we can do is have it not vibrate down the road when you're doing, you know, for hours and hours on end, just sitting there rattling on it. Have not torqued exhaust manifolds yet on those. We do 22. I torque them to 22 foot-pounds, and I'm experimenting. That's R&D. If you torque them to 18, like the manual says, 6.4 does not have the spacer. They used it in the manifold, and I believe that the material of the 6.4 exhaust manifold and the 6-liter spacer for the exhaust manifold is different. It's heat and expand and contract rates are different. So that's why they dropped the torque on the 6.4 because we're breaking freaking bolts off, because the exhaust manifold expands a lot more than the 6-liter spacer does, so it pops the bolts. So they dropped it to 18 foot-pounds. Well, if you do 18, they come loose. Okay, so go a little bit more, 22 foot-pounds, and I'm experimenting with that right now. I would much rather, though, have a bolt loosen up and fall out than be too tight and pop the head off of it. Much rather just reach down there and tighten up some bolts. I mean, I had to do that. That's 18 foot-pounds I have laid under many 6.4s that we've done and had to tighten exhaust manifold bolts back up because 18 was not tight enough. So we're trying with 22 now. Haven't had any issues. I haven't heard of any issues. So let's hope that continues to be the trend. I mean, we do have push rods here. I mean, we do have them. And Julie, I actually thought about it afterwards because from John Wagner's truck, he broke one of these in 3 places. The 6.4 that ran pretty good. It broke it here, and we had 3 pieces of it. Well, we've got them here. Let's go ahead and throw them in the hole. No, I'm not going to do that. I mean, this job is worth more than that. So let's go ahead and have a little pride in it and put a little Manton push rod. Put all of them in, and that way, heck with those. I don't want to use those. I don't want to have to revisit because of a push rod issue when we're sitting here looking at the engine right now, ready to put push rods in. So yeah, that's a extreme miscommunication on my fault. I messed up because I should have pushed for those a long time ago. But Manton hooks it up. I mean, you guys can call him quick. I mean, I didn't have hardly any issue at all, but I also don't have them in my hand, but you know, close is close. Julie did get the fuel pump put together, new petcock. We haven't completely finished the lines up yet because when we're moving around here, I like to leave as much off, like the transmission bracket. I don't want to walk around that thing, so we'll put it on later and then grind off all of where the grounds go. Because you see, we paint over with no regard to anything, and then I specifically grind off where we need the grounds at, grind it flat, like bare metal, and then put the grounds on and then paint it right back. Paint right over the grounds. So, you know, I used to want to show that it was bare metal, but I don't want to leave bare metal on any freaking thing. Let's put bare metal on it. Like there's a battery cable that goes, one of these, I think it's that one somewhere. Battery cable goes down there, and grind it off, attach everything, attach all the grounds, and then make sure you paint back over them, because that just locks that ground in. Then it's all good. James ordered the shocks. I mean, you guys know I kind of like things to be clean, and you know, if you're going to go through the time, you might as well make it look good, right? You might as well go through it. I mean, this was a Northeastern truck. Shit. Being able to take the shocks off, that's what I was getting at. It's a perfect opportunity because I really, really, really want to take those shocks off to paint and to clean and to power wash. So a time like right now, you know, go ahead and budget in a set of shocks. Throw them on there. That way, when you got fresh painted surfaces and everything's all done, you got a brand new pair of shocks on there too. It's just, right? Might as well. With that said, I put big springs on our silver truck. Put big springs when we first bought it, and went 580,000 miles with the original shocks. 580,000, and I was like, let's put shocks on it. They weren't bad. They weren't all rusted and stuff. They didn't look as bad as James just did, but I put them shocks on there. Now I think it's because I had 550 springs all the way around it. It was a 1-ton single wheel, and man, I didn't feel a single bit of difference, not a bit. So as far as knowing the ride on the shocks, I mean, maybe I don't pay enough attention, but I mean, I think maybe it's more about tire wear, right? I mean, I'm not a tire scientist. I don't know a lot about it. But I know if we can keep that tire planted on the ground, it won't washboard as much, maybe. I mean, that's science. I'm not a scientist. Julie's in there on the phone. What are you talking to? Let's hang out for a minute. Is she gonna take a breath? Breathe. Ooh. Brake fluid, we could use the flush. Let's get this stuff all hammered out. We can visit that if we need to. I do put lines on it. That's 50 foot-pounds and then 90 degrees. So I'll torque that to 50 foot-pounds and then paint pen just line straight up and down. And then 90 degrees is when all the lines go 90 degrees. It's pretty easy. It's simple. It's more rocket science. That's what I was talking about with filling in the silicone. putting a little bit and I'm almost wiping it off. See that? Just barely feeling it, which, man, I don't know how good it is. I don't know that I want to put wet sealant on it. I don't think I do. I mean, I've always put them together dry. See, that's completely dry. That was like days ago we did that. We're gonna pull the shocks out of the back. I've had to cut that bottom bolt a lot. Let's hope we don't have to cut anything to get these shocks off.
Well, I should get it ready and actually do it.
Do what?
The whole thing.
Well, I guess. I mean, we always could use an intake or two to sell.
Put it on pay-per-view.
Couldn't we? No, this might be $150 to view it.
This is crappy material, so this needs to be cleaned off really well. And what I would do when we were first figuring this out, and they were, you know, half of them were leaking.
There's probably more than half for the first while. So Jay is deciding on whether or not he wants to show you guys how we do this, because how many years has it taken to mess with this and messing with it? It's been years. So do we want to show you? Because I mean, we got a call yesterday. People want to buy this. They want to buy it. I mean, do I go ahead and tell them right now? My opinion on that is cut it off the intake and you can have it. Buy it for the intake, because we got a lot of investment in making this work.
With kind of remedial aluminum welding skills, could weld this on.
Do you want to?
And then I can show you how I do it now.
Do you want to show them how the...
Not really. It is so simple.
It's simple?
It's so simple.
But if somebody just tried to weld it, like I remember Jake saying it blew up, like it looked like hell inside of there.
We would do this and then have to go get a piece of clean aluminum and weld it just to get his mind back right. After welding this, he'd have to get clean aluminum and weld it just to get his brain back.
So it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
So the trick, so you clean this off.